Thank you, Dr. Babin.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair, and thank you all for being here. Dr. Cordova, I enjoyed you accompanying our committee. I guess it's been a year before last when we went to the Arctic and saw some neat things. Good to see you again. I wanted to ask a question about return on investment, and I'd like to hear it from maybe all of you if you get a chance. We'll start with Dr. Cordova. Our constituents may ask, why invest taxpayer funding in imaging a black hole? And that is, what can you tell them, or what can we tell them, has been the return on their investment? And I liked what is it Bauman or Bowman?
I don't mind either, but Babin
Okay,
is what I
okay,
usually say.
all right. Bauman said, we don't know what we don't know. So that's kind of a mysterious thing to say, but we've got, if we can ever get James Webb Space Telescope up there, I assume that's going to open up some new windows and horizons for us as well. But let's start with you, Dr. Cordova, on return on investment, where somebody says, what are we getting for spending all this money on imaging a black hole?
Well, there's three ways I like to answer that, but I want to give a lot of time to my colleagues here. So I'll just say the three words are inspiration,
Right.
and that is that's at the root of who we are as human beings, and that's what draws us into our fields where our passion and our commitment is. And we all were sharing earlier our STEM spark, and so it's so important with young people to get them inspired. So we had great moments like landing on the moon and discovery of the Higgs boson and this imaging of the black hole, and who knows how many people that will attract into science, all kinds of science and engineering. The second one has to do with all the engineering and computational tools that go into a discovery like this, a challenge like this. It took them over a decade to do this, and as you know, with the LIGO gravitational wave experiment, it took 40 years to do that one. And the amazing amount of engineering prowess and computational prowess that it takes in order to make those kinds of feats have many, many spin-offs. There are many things that are invented for the first time that then go off into spin-offs. And the third one is that when we invest in truly fundamental basic research, it can have enormous benefits, not just little incremental benefits, but we talked earlier about GPS, about MRI technology, about new companies that are invented like Google itself. These start at the root with just a little piece of fundamental research. And even the people who are discovering it, we funded Charlie Towns, the Nobel Prize winner. We gave him 17 grants over his lifetime. And he never said, I thought it would end up in the maser, and we used masers here in this as the clocks in order to synchronize the telescopes. I never thought it would end up in the laser, and doing eye surgery and all. But he did it because he was driven towards a fundamental discovery. Right. And so these have amazing benefits for the public, but sometimes a little later on.
The quest for knowledge and curiosity, that's
yes.
Right. Doctor, is it Dolman? Dolman, yes, sir.
Although I answer to many things. So when I talk to the team about what we're doing, I often use the analogy that we're jumping off cliffs and inventing parachutes on the way down. And that's really emblematic of this project. We're asking and hoping to answer the deepest questions, and you don't know where they're going to lead.
Right.
If you limit yourself by attacking questions that you can see what the return might be, then you're really limiting where you're going intellectually and where we're going as humans. It's by asking these open-ended questions that they inspire, as Dr. Cordova said, but also that you get these amazing discoveries and the ancillary benefits.
Right.
Any normal portfolio advisor will tell you want some stocks, you want some bonds, but you also want some high-risk, high-return in there somewhere, just on the off chance you're going to invest in Amazon or something like that. And sometimes it pays off, as it did here, and it really does inspire people. So if you want to make the discoveries and have the benefit, you've got to take a little bit of risk.
Absolutely. And Dr. Lonsdale, we're running out of time. So.
Yes, thank you. I'll try and be brief. For me, I already mentioned the inspiration aspect for young people and getting people into STEM. I'd also like to very briefly mention that at my observatory we have an interdisciplinary research program, and the techniques and technologies that went into the EHT echo throughout all of the research that goes at the observatory, and I think that that's true on a broader front as well. So, we do geospace science, for example, and it's benefited from some of the work that's gone on in the EHT.
Right, thank you. And can we indulge Dr. Babin for just a second?
Sure. So I think I want to just echo everything that my colleagues have said here. I think the technology and basic science really drive each other to be better. And things that we develop for imaging a black hole, we don't necessarily know how what they'll manifest in technology of the future, but I think that they definitely will. I'm very confident of that, and I also think that just capturing the imagination of young students and getting them excited about science and STEM, I think that in itself will lead to a lot of innovation in the future.
All inspirational answers. Thank you very much, and I yield.